Find out tonight on Fox's newest reality hit, Landing Strip.
This is Fox News with the latest liberal outrage.
One thing I've always wondered, how can Fox News be so conservative when the Fox network keeps airing raunchy shows? They don't fit together.
Fox deliberately runs shows that will earn them huge fines, which are then funneled through the FCC straight to the Republican Party. Everybody in the media knows it, but no one has the guts to say it.
Not true. You've got the guts, and I've got a webcam. Here we go. 4, 3, 2...
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me into your laps. Journalists used to question the reasons for war and expose abuse of power. Vote out your so-called representatives. Reject your corporate masters. Buy nothing. Hug your children. Love the one you're with.
Look at that rabble-rouser. He's threatening our ill-gotten gains.
Can't. We want to offer you your old job back with a 50% pay increase.
I held out as long as I could.
I guess there's just no place for truth and bravery in today's media.
For years now, Fox has been programming shows that the whole family can enjoy. The truth is...
Hey, people. I don't know when that was made. I copied it from a Chinese copy. But on my movie of the new Mexico, Doc did it. Says, so I've been pronouncing Mexico as Mexico for a long time. And he says, you know, in the beginning was the logo. Like McDonald's Golden Arches. It's starting to be easier. And so this, in the beginning was the logo. This means the exact same thing. Golden Arches. In arch on of logos. And of the logos on forced on the light. The on, and those on of logos. And so this reads several different ways, has a bunch of directional markings on it, but you can see this X used in here, you know, it's the chi, and it's a crossed S is what it is, do not consume. And you can see that, you know, in the ancient label of poison, the head and the crossbones, you know, and you can see it here in the narcs, N-A-R-X, you know, no drugs. It's their job, the narcs. But, you know, the arch on it means the beginning if you're going to start at the top. You know, the arch is the top. You know, when you walk through a doorway, the arch is the part that's over your head. But, you know, the archon, you know, they say that's the ruler, the top, the chief, you know. In the archon of logos, in the top of the logos. And so this O, it's of, it means to see. And so there's different kinds of, you know, you have an L that means of, and you have an AV that means of, and you have an OV that means of. But it's actually should just be read, you know, to see. But the way our language evolved, you know, we could just say of, and it'll make sense. So this has a bunch of directional markings in it. And so if we just read it with a little wave up here, I believe more people understood how to read that than the rest of these markings. And so then it's in the arch. And then this tells you to grab the X back here. So it's the hex, HX, in the arch hex. And then this tells you to grab that last letter. So it was this H. And EN in the arch hex hen C logos. And so the arch hex hen is here is the Reshki gal, you know, the R key, the RX gal, and she's the hex hen, you know, represents this. The hex is the 6. You know, hex is to cast a spell, or it means having 6. And the hen, you know, a female bird, or slang, you know, for an older woman. And so, you know, these words, these 3 words, you know, they're calling her out every which way. And, you know, the logos meaning the word, but they'll also say, you know, the gram means the word, you know, a hexagram. You know, in the highest of the logos is the hex. the hexagon of word, the hexagram is what it's saying. And then this key reads as the Vav, it's W-O, the wall of Goshen, G-O-S, and then grab the S again, the G-O-S-S-E-N, G-O-S-S-H-N, the wall of Goshen forced on the light. And so I believe this is the last of the wall of Goshen. It ain't there no more. But Goshen means the place of comfort and plenty. And it was the region in ancient Egypt that was granted to Jacob and his descendants by the king of Egypt during the famine. It was the best land in Egypt, suitable for both crops and livestock. And, when I was reading in the Hebrew, in the story in the beginning, when it's talking about, the 4 rivers where the Garden of Eden is in, it kind of pointed out the same place as this Goshen. It's all this best land. It had some high land and some lower land, good for farming and cattle. And down here you got all lakes. It's all big fish farms today, and it was then too. And you can see it in the Hebrew, the land of Goshen, the arch, A-R-X, the arch of Goshen, the arch, and same as, the ear-rich, the resh, the R-X, the resh kigal, the resh, and the TZ is the X. Resh was this symbol here, is the name of the symbol. They say it pronounces nin, and this is just the name of the symbol. And meaning lady, queen, or in a man, it's a lord. So, a lady is a queen, not a peasant. And Ki is the same, meaning earth. Anshar gave birth to a brother and a sister, was Ki and An, earth and sky, and the Resh of Goshen. The G is the foot, the foot ocean, and it's at the foot of the river, down at the ocean. And if anybody was coming through here, by land, they had to go through this area. If they didn't have a boat, they had to pass through here. So in arch hex hen of logos, wall of Goshen, forced on the on with those, W-T-H-E-O-S, with those of Sena, S-E-N-O, the Sena logos. And so S-E-N-O, that's your Greek word for tits, breast, bosom, boob, cleavage, the Sena. So we're looking for a logo that looks like this, like a set of breasts, the golden arch. And so at that time, in this archaic Greek, that was this letter X that had disappeared, that came from the plants, the X, the Tazadi. And I believe they're talking about this as, in the Hebrew it's written the valley of a cur. And so in Hebrew, the word for valley is mama, mother. They give a bunch of words, but where this comes up, it's spelled M-A-M-Q, mama fucker. And it's surely coming from this ancient symbol here, where between the two lines. And so this would be, to give birth to Baal. This meant Easter. And I will give her vineyards from there, and the valley of a cur. And it's, it's what, and then backwards, what come, fucker, F-O-K-U-R. It's the only way you see this word come up, is the valley of a cur, valley of a cur, valley of a cur, valley of a cur. And it'd be spelled different every time, That's where I just read it. But it's always, this valley. There's many words for valley that aren't anything near this, but this is, V-O-M, VOM, and Q, F-O-K-U-R. And here's, the M-O-M, the mom fucker. but always, the OMQ. This valley comes up 69 times like this with the MQ in it. MQs, and with the MQ. They have other words that are used just as many times. The base word Gaia, G-I-A, they say is valley. But this one, it bases, to see from center, occur. To see from center, OMQ, see from center, occur. And that's what it's talking about, when it gets center, Easter, when the sun's in the middle, in the valley. But this is that point where they set the clock every year. And, it's saying a lot, and it's saying it's read between the lines. You got to read between the lines. And between the lines, you have a henologist. Henology, all your ologists, doctors. And the archhexenologist. Wall of Goshen, forced on the light with those senologes, the senologes in the center, between the breast, the senologes, senologos. And then it reads again, with the upper markings and the lower marking. And so it only has this one lower marking here. So it all reads the same, in the arch, and then backwards the hex, the rockin'. In the arch hex rockin'. And then when you read it with the upper markings up here, this tells you to turn backwards, so it's an NE, which becomes the BE. And so it's Ben, B-E-N. And then N, grab that N over here. Ben and share, the arch. And then none, N-H-N. You're grabbing that last N this way. And then the N again. None know logos. And Ben and share arch, none know logos. The arch not know the logos. The wall of Goshen, forced on the light. With those, none know logos. And so none of logos, that's the Egyptian word for the book of the earth. It's called a funerary text. And you can see the book of Akur, the valley of Akur. And when I first started reading the Hebrew, that's what the Hebrew was telling me. This was the first thing you have to learn, is the book of the earth. If you break this first line of the Hebrew Bible down into all the letter meanings, and learn writings, W-A-T, and learn writings, the knowledge first plants, the book of the earth. I'm having a hard time finding that where I read on that on Wiki before years ago, but I want to finish out with this. This kind of blew my mind. I was looking at this word here. It's Y-U-X-A. Most of the time it comes up, and I'm pretty sure it means yachts. As you do go out, yachts and bay, in and out, are always have to do with boats in the port. But this is the only time it comes up with this diamond like that. And it changes it up. And they say, for by Yahweh, I swear if not you do go out, there will stay not one with you. So when I was a kid, all the southern kids down here, they used to say ain't, A-I-N-T. I say this final K pronounces T. And ain't is a word that means not. I ain't gonna, I'm not gonna. But this not you do go out, it looks more like a A-I-N, not, T-I-N-D. And then the diamond has you move the A over, Vaxa, the anti-Vaxa. You don't get to go out. And all together, it's and at. And I believe this dot here is telling to read a H or a E after that. H-E or E-E. And at he fuse, F-U-S. And they get this arise from fume, F-U-E-M, the fumes, was a fuse to connect, and that he fused so would bear all in love. Usually they say this is the heart, but backwards, in love. Obit it, chi, the left, by even sever, they, thy. I believe that's what this dot here is, they say it means, that this makes this like a tet, th. I believe it's a te or a th. In thy, chi, and then backward, the kni, checking. The left by have and sever, they checking. Anti-vaxxer, not you'd go out. As nil, as none illin, aish, A-I-S-E or A-I-S-H. Is a word that means pleasure, luxury, rest. As nil illin aish, is non illinaise. As nil, as none illin aise, sick and rest. Addit or attic, A-T-E-T or A-T-E-K. And none sick and rest at it. The Lila. And I believe this Lila has to do with a woman in your dreams, this night. And the roll, R-O-E-L, like R-O-L-L, and roll it, and then move the A over, as at, from the cell or the row ashore, chained in the wall in the cellar, then all the evil that, and then backwards, H-A-V-E, and then A-E is E-S. Assure have is all it, or allic is something you live for, all of your life is for allic, alcoholic, what you live for, and have is all it, manner it, teach your youth the manners, M-N-E-O-R-I-T, the manner it had, in an E-T, and then H-O, the dot in the key giving you H-O, the hot he, the manner it had it hot he wasn't happy about it. And so, this is vote, V-O-T-E, with the dot and then an extra A. And the vote effuse. And it's like to refuse, but it's to deny it again. But it's the first time. Like I say, they put re in a lot of our words that didn't fit in the ancient English. The vote effuse, as in to deny. And the vote effuse, it's so would bear all in love, abid it, to abide by it, abid it. Chi, the left hand, by having, siva thy, to receive from thy left hand, checking anti-vaxxer. As nil illinaise, as none sick and rest at it. The Lila, where O-E is the royal bloodline, and the Lila, the woman of the night, where O, let, is at, from cell, C-E-L-H-O-R-E-O-R, from cellar, the roe, the roe is a fish egg, the roe, and it's the head, the R, the head, his seed, the odal, assure, have is, H-A-V-E-E-S. The have is allic, the ones that have everything, the royal family, the have is allic, alcoholic, and the have is allic. The manner it had, audit, O-D, to see through. The life mark is an audit, to go count everybody at audit, and then haughty, or the manner it audit, hoped, the dot after the T is giving you a H-O, and then a T-E. It manner it had it hoped, and hope meaning, to command and audit. So vote refuse, that would be Trump refusing the vote. And so, kind of means because. Or maybe, the XO, the plant, the power, and the executive officer, the second in command, and the vote diffused, XO. So would bear all in love, everybody who's loving of the abide it, to abide by the rule, to abide it. And the chi, the left hand, by having sieve it they, by taking in the left hand, checking the anti-vax. It's like people weren't allowed to go out to vote. As Nilla Illin Aish, as nobody was sick and rest at it. And the Lila, in the night to roll it, to the old lit, to roll it is at, to roll, to bankroll, on a roll, a bunch of extra votes coming in, is at from the cellar, here odal assure. At the cellar, here odal assure, that was like Biden, he never got out of his cellar, but, he was the odal, the air assured. Don't worry about it. You just stay down in the cellar. We got this. As the old assure has befallen Aulic, as have is Aulic. We got this. You want it. Don't worry about it. Stay in the cellar. In the manner it audit command. Book blows my mind. And so I ain't saying that it's predicting the future. I'm saying that this ain't the first time this went on, and this is their playbook. And that's why we can't read the language. They change the language because they don't want us to know what's going on, because it's all in the playbook that they follow.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
All right, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.